basic. Sorry. So you can see how the things are being connected and gradually, enhancing the automation skill from starting from the basic sensor level knowledge to high domain on IoT. Today we are talking about. Today I'm going to present on automation and robotics with some of good videos on application point of view to understand how robot works for automation, how they are supporting the automation business. Before to start, I would like to share some information about my company, about Mitsubishi Electric, and the FA products we introduced in Mitsubishi Electric, followed by e-factory concept. In Mitsubishi Electric, like IoT or the Internet of Things, what we are talking about, Mitsubishi has given a name of e-factory. So instead of presenting, making some presentation to you, I would like to run one small video. Just allow me to share my screen. Hello. Yeah,
yes,
it,
sir.
yeah,
Yes, sir. Visible.
visible. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So this small video will present about Mitsubishi Electric, the manufacturing process, and how we introduce IoT or e-factory in our system. Just have a view on that.
Presenting e-factory.
So this video's audio
Yes,
is coming.
no, sir. Actually, the screen there, the folder that is visible.
1
The
minute.
videos which are in that folder.
I think I need to share my screen again for this particular video. 1 minute. Now, hello. Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Voice is coming, but sir, the video is not there. Actually, the folders are there in your
See,
PC.
I really very use this Zoom meetings. Actually, we always use this Microsoft Teams. So I'm a bit not comfortable or very much aware about this controls of this Zoom. Just allow me 1 minute.
Okay. Yes, sir.
So possible just to open the video, then you can share, sir.
Okay.
You can close this at present. You can open the video, then you can share.
Yes, sir.
No.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Now video is visible, sir.
Yeah,
Please carry on.
thank you so much. Yeah. And just let me know the video's audio is coming to you. Is it okay?
No, sir. I think audio is not there. Video is there.
Comprehensive digital transformation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is video is also audio is also there. I think the volume is a little bit low, but it is audible.
With over 10,000 worldwide applications and blended with over 100 years.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Now perfect, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Please carry on, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome, sir.
Presenting eFactory, a comprehensive digital transformation solution for today's growing manufacturing complexities. Introduced in 2003 with over 10,000 worldwide applications and blended with over 100 years of Mitsubishi Electric's collective wisdom in manufacturing, eFactory is a scalable platform that adapts to customer requirements and budgets and enables smarter factories with improved productivity, quality, safety, and security, along with optimized workforce performance. eFactory is supported by an extensive worldwide alliance partner network built on the global concept.
Sorry, I think the video has been changed.
Sir, I think the robotic arms, they are visible.
1 minute.
Presenting eFactory, a comprehensive digital transformation solution for today's growing manufacturing complexities. Introduced in 2003 with over 10,000 worldwide applications and
मैं मीटिंग में चल रहा हूँ, फटाफट बोलो। ठीक 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 है, ओके। Yeah, thank you for watching this video. And now coming back to my presentation, 1 minute. The purpose to show you this video is that how automation is being used in industries. So first we need to visualize the role of automation, how it has been helpful for industry point of view, how it is leading for the manufacturing, how the data is being transferred, what is the importance of the data. When we are talking about smart cities, how automation is going to roll it out.
Pardon, sir, are you sharing the PPT, sir?
Yeah, I'm going to share. Yeah. I'm going to share it. 1 minute, just.
Okay, sorry, sir. I thought you were sharing, that's why.
No.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Is it visible?
Yes, sir. It is visible, sir.
Yeah,
Please carry
thank
on,
you.
sir.
So the purpose and intention to showcase that video to you, to just enlighten on automation, how it is being utilized in industries, how it is helping for any manufacturing process. Okay, as I said earlier, automation is not one particular product where we can talk about. Let me present this PPT followed by my robotic information. So what is automation and different segmentation of automation, how the industries are getting evolution from last decades, and we'll take some case studies on automation, then some product basket followed by small information on IoT. So it's very basic thing. Most of you must be knowing this thing. Still, I would like to emphasize on automation once again. What is automation? As I know, this session of Atal Faculty Development Program is going on from maybe last 3-4 days. So many people of speakers are coming and talking about on automation. My PPT or my discussion may be in the same manner, okay, but I believe my some of the videos and some of the examples will be different from the others. Okay, so I'm going to talk about automation. What is automation? The things can move automatically, or I would say where human intervention is required very minimum. Okay, for any kind of operation, machinery process, or any kind of factories, for any kind of production. Okay, we have multiple of advantages of automation, like reducing human efforts, quality improve, okay, and energy saving, and of course the accuracy and precision, which is very much important. Okay, different kind of automations are available based on feedback, sequential, and computer control. Let me put you like explain you in different details about automation in my upcoming slides. This small animation is a good example of automation. You can see here, let me show you. See, you can see this is the conveyor, the bottom one. Okay, and this is the hopper and putting up a boxes over here. And this is example of robotic arm that is placing some cover on that part. And this below robotic arm is doing the packing, and this is the lifting process. This animation shows you about the how automation works for packing of any material. Okay, even though here it has not shown any manpower involved, still you can minimize the manpower. Instead of 4 members, you can work with 1 members. Okay, the dependency on human beings get minimized by using automation. This is another example of packaging, horizontal packaging, and bottom one is for bottle filling concept. Today in these slides, I'm not going to talk about how these are working, what is the background, okay, but important is what is automation. And of course, these systems has been designed by engineers by use of automation products. Okay, there's a lot of efforts are involved at the background for programming point of view. Okay, so I'm not going to touch on that part, but I would like to show you how automation is working in the industry. See, on our example of horizontal packaging, this is the roller, okay, and this is the conveyor that feeds the product object, okay, and these are the servo paper foiler, and these are the cutters, okay. You can see when how the cutters are working automatically to produce the product on another conveyor. If you look at this bottom example of conveyor, where the bottles are coming down and filling is taking place, then capping is placed and exit. So the background of these solutions where we have involved the product like PLC, robotic, so many different kind of automation products. This is another example of packaging. Here you can see at the back end, what we have used, like PLCs, controllers, HMI, okay, servo. In the front screen, you can see how this role is getting unwind and how the tension is maintained and converting to a particular back. But at the back end, such kind of automation system is being used. When we are talking about automation of different category, process automation, factory automation, and building automation. When we are talking about process automation, it's a continuous process which cannot be stopped. Okay, because to start the plant, it is a time taking and a lot of investment is involved. The cost is involved to restart that process. Some examples like chemical plants, fertilizer plants, petroleums, refineries, some utilities, water treatment, power plants, and many more. So another is factory automation, where we are dealing with individual machines in factory automation. These are some of the examples like batch process, machine equipments, automotive, pharmaceutical, FMCG, textile, plastic, where we are dealing with individual machine. So one machine is not depend on another machines. Okay, the standalone machines. Of course, we can interconnect these machines together with some different network, but one machine stoppage sometimes may not hold the process for another machine. But in continuous process, so this is a chain process. If something gets stopped in between, so a further process gets stopped, that you cannot proceed. But in factory automation, individual machine will continue to work. Another example of building automation. Building automation, like nowadays, so many high-rise buildings and multi shops. This solar systems has been placed in the building automation. Might be here seen some examples, like when you do enter into the room of any hotel and the light gets switched on and off automatically. Okay, these are some example of building automation. Some of the examples are involved like water pumping system, elevators and escalators. Elevators and escalators is a part of building automations. Security cameras. Okay, these are some of the examples of building automation. If I'm talking about Mitsubishi Electric, we are more in factory automation products, the middle one. Of course, we have some products for process automation and building automation also. Nowadays, we are working with data center also. Data center is a part of building automation where you are going to deal with a lot of, data of that building. So we are majorly in factory automation things. So another example you can take up from, infrastructures, railways, aviation sector, medical automation, so many. But major is these three category. This slide shows how the industry revolution has happened from 18th century till date. In the 18th century, when industry's revolution started, they introduced mechanical power. Okay, that was called as Industry 1.0. In 20th century, they introduced the conveyor system. To introduce conveyor system, they could have mass production. In the 20th century, they come up with Industry 3.0, where they introduce robotics in automation. And today, Industry 4.0, we are working on IoT or cloud data and data handling. These are one of the example of Industry 1.0, how this mechanical energy has been used for production point of view. You can see this hammer is being, managed to work as a human hand. Okay, so that it can help in industry for any kind of production. So this is the example of 18th century where we were talking about Industry 1.0. This another slide shows about example for industry 2.0, where we have introduced the conveyor. Now person is stand still and conveyor is moving so that objects can continue to move on the conveyor. That results to the mass production. Production has been increased in manifold by introducing conveyor system into the automation. This is a third example of robotic. Now operator can use this robot from the controller machine and perform the work as desired. This is another example of industry 4.0. See, you can see here from this animated video, two robots are working by controlled by single human being using some app, and this app can be connected with cloud data, and from cloud data it can control the robotic arms. So this is the way how industry 4.0 is working nowadays. I'll put up some case studies for factory automation, why it is required. Look at this tea bag. So you can see how nicely packed. Wherever you go into the market to get this tea bag from any store, you will find the same packing all the way. The packing shape, you can look at the nameplate, the Tata Tea Gold, whatever is written here, the packing dimensions, everything you will find in the same manner. You can take any number of such kind of bags from any location, from any store. So this can be produced by automation only. If just imagine if somebody has to do it manually, is it possible to get the same shape, same size, same pattern for all the bags? It is very, very hard and time taking process. This is another example of shampoo pouch. Okay, this small shampoo pouch contains 5 ml of any the content of the shampoo. Okay, just imagine if somebody has to pour it the fill this shampoo pouch manually. So it is very easy. Instead of 5 ml, we can pour 6 ml. Okay, it is very very difficult to calculate 5 ml to 6 ml when you're dealing with the manual things. Hello. Hello. Hi, I'm audible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
sir. Audible, sir.
yeah. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, welcome, sir.
So in between, many times maybe I'll ask you like I'm audible, because sometimes if I'm talking continuously and I'm not sure my voice is coming to you. So in between, may I disturb you to ask you again and again?
Okay, okay. No, sir. It's actually okay. Voice is totally clear, sir. We are getting
Yeah.
everything what you are saying.
Yeah, thank you so much. So nice of you. Yeah, we were talking about this shampoo pouch, where we were talking about the manual handling or filling of this pouch. And instead of 5 ml, for example, say 6 ml has been poured by some person manually. So 5 ml to 6 ml, it is just like 1 ml. Okay. But if you look at in percentage wise, this is become a 20%. Just imagine if some production company, any company, those who are making such kind of pouches, so that is indirect loss to them for 20%. Okay. So due to that reason, we required automation to introduce in industries. These are some of the facts why it is being required. Okay. So this is another example of a pouch packing machine. Okay, where you can see like you might have seen this. I'm not sure about this lace packing machines or any kind of chips or any kind of packaging machines you have seen. We called as a form, fill and seal machine. Form fill means like it creates the pocket to put the ingredient inside, then seal it to pack it properly, then cut it. Okay, in such kind of a machine, the challenge is like accuracy in cutting. In previous example, he has seen how that tea bag was packed nicely. The cutting of the this box, how proper it was. So this is very critical part and challenging part. Of course, that we can overcome by using automation. The demand rate is very high. Okay, like earlier, 100 to 1000 packs per minute. The customers nowadays they are demanding even more than of that. And PLCs, drives, servo motors, induction motors are the component for this kind of a machine as a part of automation. So engineer has to deal with all these components to make such kind of a solutions. This is another example of automotive industry. We can take any example of facility improvement, Pika Pika, and Don Display, Pokayoke, and many more examples for industries. This image, you can see this indications. Okay, this is the example of Pika Pika system. Okay, the good thing is that this such kind of system is introduced in assembly line where the worker has to assemble the component into the vehicle. Okay, in one vehicle there are number of components to be assembled. Okay, and in single line or single conveyor there may be some different kind of vehicles can come. Okay, and that operator is same, so operator doesn't know about the type of vehicle. Okay, accordingly he has to put the material inside to make safe or to make secure the right component to be introduced into the right vehicle. So such kind of a system has been introduced. How it works basically, whenever any vehicle comes to the line in front of the operator, then particular LED gets glow, that gets on. Then operator can understand, yes, he has to pick the material from this slot or this slot or this slot, and he put back to the vehicle. Okay, that's make the system a technical sound. So very rare chances for any kind of a wrong selection of the parts. In fact, no one among all of us have seen any different components being used in a car. For example, the Ciaz, one of the Maruti Suzuki vehicle, is not using the component made for Ertiga, for example. An Ertiga vehicle is not having any component used for another vehicle. So it's a technical sound solutions, and such kind of solutions are generated or prepared by our engineers only. This is another example of packaging industry, medical industry, where blister packaging is happening here. Okay, so this is a conveyor, and this press is creating the pockets on the sheet, and this is a hopper with the tablets are coming down, and this is the silver roll at the back end, and that is pasting on the back side, and this is the cutter making a strip of 10 or 15 as required. This is the animated videos. This is one of the example how it is being packed, but in reality it may be bit more different, where we introduce some cameras or vision system also to make sure so no pocket should be empty. Another example of industries where car parking system is there. Okay, and you can see like Maruti Suzuki, Honda, or any automotive industry, they are producing number of cars in a day, and to produce these cars they require some space to manage or to keep these cars in the storage area. Then it is very difficult. For example, in Gurgaon, to get that much of space in Gurgaon is very difficult for Maruti Suzuki. So what they they introduced this multi-level car parking system in their complex. So now they can make the car and park in that manner. to save the space. It is not example for the automotive industry. It is for, when we are talking about smart city concept, or when we are talking about very congested area where parking is a difficulty, and we can introduce such kind of multi-level car parking system. And this is again a use of automation products to make such kind of a solution. See, you can see here the challenges you can face while this such kind of automation, or what are the demands from the industry side. Demand rate get increased in manifold. Like for example, when we were talking about packaging, earlier the packaging of 100 packets per minute, I'm talking about per minute, was good enough. But nowadays people expectation is more than 1,000 packets per minute. So just imagine, within 1 second you need to produce, for example, 15 to 20 packets per second. So you need to tackle, or you need to handle such kind of challenges by using the automation products. The car manufacturing, like 2,000 per day, like calculation from the 16 hours. In rough idea, if I'm talking about Maruti Suzuki, so they produce one car within 45 seconds. One car is out from the factory altogether. So easy product change. So all the customers want the single machine where they can use the same machine for small pack, medium pack, and large pack. They don't want to keep 3 machines. So the flexibility of that machines for easy product change. Okay, synchronization of moving parts. When we are talking about so much high accuracy or high production rate, okay, the mechanical part should be robust to support that kind of a system. And rest of the challenges, like for high accuracy, energy efficient, these are some of the challenges that can be countered by using automation. Of course, the engineers are the backbone for such kind of automation. These are some of the examples of automation where components being used for, as I said, starting from PLC, HMI, variable frequency drive, servo system, networks, IPC, SCADA, robotic, and all the things. Let me put you quickly in front of you about Mitsubishi's things. Okay, then I'll take you to the robotic directly. This is this slide shows about programmable PLC system, that is IQR, and that has a capacity to handle more than of 4,000 IOs, input and outputs from the field. Okay. When we are talking about PLC, I'll let you know in my next slides about the PLC. This is the small category of the PLC what we have in our product basket. The earlier one is the modular type PLC. We can extend the number of modules, and this is brick type PLC. Okay, small version of that earlier one, and it can handle up to more than 500 IOs, input and output. Okay, this is the cheap and less IO handling capacity. It has lower version of IQR PLC with memory capacity and the processing. There are some more parameters. When we are talking about PLC, how to select the PLC, some criteria like we should check the inputs and outputs, how many we require, the memory size, the special IO modules we are going to connect. When I'm talking about special IO modules, like some analog type of modules, some RTD modules, some temperature controller modules, some weighing modules, some vision system modules. So how and what we want to connect it? Scan time, communication software, of course. These are some of the areas. This is a very simple and architecture of PLC. How PLC works basically. PLC is a single word, but that consists of many different parts, like input modules, processor, that in our industry we call as a CPU, okay, processor, then output modules, okay, the power supply and programming platform that consist the different components as mentioned here that becomes a part of PLC architecture. Okay, and everybody, like you are the engineers, you know how the PLC works. So first it sends the input signal, then based on our programming designing, that input has been processed, and accordingly the output module delivers the output. Okay, we can get the voltage from the output module, and we can operate any solenoid valves, contactors, motors in the field. Another example of HMI, human machine interface. Okay, when these HMIs are always being used in front of the panel, okay, so that user don't require to open the panel or work on the PLC. They can control the PLC using this HMI. This HMI is used to display the data, the production data, and to control the PLC, where you can input the field as well. This slide shows how the PLCs, this HMI is being connected with end-on systems from PLC, from PC, from Wi-Fi connectivity. We can use soft HMI. We have one good facility in our product when HMI is not able to communicate with the PLC due to any reason, maybe become NG, like not good, or get broken, so we cannot stop the production. So we can temporarily convert our PC as a soft HMI, so we can operate the system from our laptop itself. We have another good facility for Wi-Fi connectivity. We can connect this GOT through our mobile, smartphones, tablets. So from the remote location, we can monitor the GOT data. So no required to move to the working area again and again. From your sitting area, you can monitor it, the production rate. This is the example of end-on system. It is very oftenly used in the industry. These are the big displays. You can look at this, such kind of the displays are hanged in center part of this manufacturing unit area, where it can be displayed to maximum of the people at the shop floor. So you can get different kind of data, the production data, kind of failure. Okay, some station is having any problem, some engineer. So they use such kind of pull code system. They can pull this code and the station number 3 becomes NG. So this message display here, and when any maintenance engineers anywhere in the plant, okay, when there will be hooter and engineer will give attention to this display, he can judge it like station number 3 is down. So immediately he can rush to that station to support him. So such kind of end-on system are very useful for production point of view, to save the time and have a wide vision of the production area. Now another example of VFDs. VFD is being used for speed control of any kind of induction motor. Okay, basic purpose. Of course, we can use for the torque control also. Okay, but majorly is for speed control, and these are energy efficient as well, these VFDs. Okay, the use of VFDs you can see as any kind of printing application, for any wire drawing machine application. Okay, for any conveyor application. You can use the VFD as a standalone, and you can use the VFD with controller also on the network. So it is up to us how we want to utilize it. Some example of VFD used in crane application. Okay, the crane is used to lift some hard material, okay, heavy material. Okay, the challenge is that when you take this heavy material to a certain height, so due to air pressure, okay, that this material gets swing left and right. Okay, to control that swing, we have to introduce VFD. This is the inbuilt feature of the product to counter this problem. VFD. Mitsubishi J5 is the latest one servo system that has a very long, or I would say the resolution is very high of JF5 based servos. The resolution here we can get for 2 to raised to power 26 bit. If you'll calculate the number of bits, multiply this to 26 times, then you will get a certain figure in more than of lakhs, in millions. Okay, so it means in one rotation of motor, that much number of the pulses you can achieve. Or indirectly, or on a reverse way, I would say we can count even one pulse as well. Then you can divide that number of pulses by 360 degree, so we can monitor, okay, 0.0001 degree as well. Then how the resolution are being, by using the servos we can capture it. The servo system are majorly used for any kind of packaging system where we are going to control the positioning. The BFD, where we're talking about the speed control, here we are talking about the positioning control. Of course, the speed and torque control options are also available, but majorly being used for positioning point of view. You can look at some of the examples how this servo is being used in application. And these are some examples of printing. Okay. Now coming to the robotic, I will touch upon this part in my next slides, in next PPT. Okay, but in Mitsubishi, we have different category of robots: vertical robots and horizontal robots. Okay, with payload capacity of more than 20 kg. More of the robotic side, again, I'm going to talk by separate PPT, but just to show you how this robots are working in isolated mode or in collaborative manner with the same job profile. They are working together as a human being. This is the architecture of any automation industry, how the shop floor is connected to the higher level IT system. You can see, you can look at this, the machine area A, and this is the machine area B, and this is machine A, individual machine, and this is area C. Okay, this is the example of individual machine, and in one area you can have multiple of machines. Okay, and you can have multiple areas in the same shop floor area. Okay, just imagine there is one machine, there's one area with multiple machines, and there is multiple area of such kind of machines in a common shop floor. So all together are connected, some network process. Okay, it may be any kind of network like Profibus, CC-Link, Serial, Ethernet. It could be anything depending on the size of the data we want to handle it. Okay, and then they are coming to one common area we called as a edge cross technology. Okay, and this edge cross technology, they pass on this data from shop floor to another layer. So we are using OPC UA or some SCADA softwares, and from there we can put this data to cloud or internet or IT system or some database to control it. So this is the typical image of any industry, how it is being working, how the data from data center or the IT systems are being controlled at the shop floor for the production of any object. So quickly, for moving out for Internet of Things, IoTs, these are some of the components thereby used for as a part of IoT. Okay, you can take any FACS sensors, you can take any vision device or some Wi-Fi modules, some digital gadgets. It's a part of IoT things. See, some more examples we can take up, like home appliances. Okay, this Nescafe machines, for example, it is connected with IoT. So any service provider, now he can check the data from the remotely, the consumption of these machines, that ingredients are being used, they can refill it Okay, so these are some examples of household things. Another is people connecting to the things. So we know some of the human being sensors like ECG sensors or motion sensors now easily available that can connect to the data or cloud data for sharing the information. Third example is things connecting to things, where we can take some example of nowadays each vehicle in the industry, they are producing this Wi-Fi concept, okay, that can be easily connected to the Wi-Fi and can provide the data to internet and can fetch the data of nearby petrol station or emergency support. Okay, so these are things now is very easily available and things are getting connected to the cloud data. This is the same thing what I discussed earlier, industry, how it get revolved from industry 1.0 to 4.0. As I said earlier, like Mitsubishi Electric called e-factory. Okay, German they called industry 4.0. US called IIC, and Rockwell and other company they called SMLC. Okay, so there are different names given by the industries, but the object and the outcome is same, to connect the big data to the cloud. Okay. This is the manufacturing trend. Okay. Like industry 4.0 of German introduced in 2011, IIC is introduced in 2012, Make in India introduced in 2014, but Mitsubishi Electric introduced e-factory in 2003. So you can see Mitsubishi Electric e-factory is quite old, and we are, you know, more than of 18 years in this concept. This is the overall trend of manufacturing, how it is getting changed from conventional way of production to digital space. Okay, so this was the earlier concept when product development was there, then there was prototype evaluation, product inspection, and packaging. So all process was manual process. Now just look at how this 3D space or digital space has converted this manual process to automation. Collection of the market data information, trend predictions, then they make a 3D designing. Okay, then they use 3D printers for prototype, and then they make automation for monitoring the quality aspects. Then for packaging also, again they use automation for auto packaging instead of manual things. So how this space of manual process has been converted to this digital space. This is a example of factory layout. Okay, where from top layer ERP MES data to middle layer where controller network, and the bottom layer where sensor level devices are connected to the individual machines. How all these platforms are connected to each other and seamless connectivity, where shop floor people can read out the ERP data and ERP data can read out shop floor data. So both way communication that, you know, basically assist the companies to reduce the TCO and improve the company's values. Some manufacturing trend has been changed by introducing some app also. This is the cobot and robots, how the robots are being used in, you know, safety guards or using in cave. Now today we are talking about collaborative robots that are working with the humans hand to hand. In my next PPTs I'll show you. So that's all about the automation concept. Okay, let me put you some information about robotic also. 1 minute. Yeah, is this slide is visible? Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Shall I continue?
Yes, sir. Please.
Yeah, thank you so much. So we are going to talk about robots. In fact, a robot nowadays is not a quite new word. It's being used so many years. Okay, this robot from I would say like from last 5-10 years, robot use has been increased drastically in all the way, because when we feel some labor kind of issues is not available into the market, so one of the reason they need to introduce robot. Second, when we are talking about the safety of the human beings, where hazardous or some chemical related things are there, in that environment human beings cannot work, again we need to introduce robot. Third, when we are talking about accuracy or potential and continuous process, where handling of human beings is very very difficult, then again it's an opportunity to introduce robot. Okay, let me share some information on robot introduction with different category of robots, advantage, application, structure, and robot anatomy, terminology, and how cameras can be introduced with robots. What is robot basically? A robot is an autonomous machine capable of sensing its environment, carrying out the computation to make decision and perform actions in the real world. Okay, so you can look at this of the images, how the robot are sensing, taking the actions, and performing the job. For aerospace point of view, so consumers, for military and security operations, for drones, some research, some exoskeleton, humanoids, and industrial. Now we'll give a focus on industrial robot over here. Okay, so these are the different categories of robots, but now we are talking about industrial robots. Again, the industrial robots can be divided in 4 different categories. One is articulated, second is Cartesian, third is cylindrical, fourth is delta. Under articulatory robots, we had 2 categories for vertical and SCARA, horizontal robots. In Mitsubishi Electric, we are dealing with articulated robots for vertical and horizontal type. Second category for Cartesian, okay, these have 3 linear joints that use the Cartesian joints XYZ that can work in 3 zone XYZ plane. Cylindrical, that works in his cylindrical shaped work enveloped. Delta is this spider like robots are built from the joint parallelogram connected to a common base. I'll show you some of the examples or the images of this different category. The articulated, I said, for vertical kind of robots and horizontal articulated robots. Below is an example of Cartesian robot, how XYZ plane it is being working. This is the example of a cylindrical robot. In that envelope, it is going to work. And this is the delta robot, when all the parallelograms are being connected to the common base. Okay, but in Mitsubishi Electric, we are dealing with top 3, this collaborative, vertical, and horizontal robots. Let me show you one small video about Mitsubishi robot. You can just look at the flexibility of this robot, the degree of freedom, the movement part of movement, how easily is being used. So look at by this video, then I'll take it forward. Is this video is visible? Hello, can you see this
Yes, sir.
robot
Yes,
arm?
sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Manoj sir, video is not available.
Video is not coming?
No sir, it's not visible.
One minute, madam. Madam, is this visible?
Yes sir, now visible.
Yeah. Yeah, coming back to this PPT, is it visible, madam?
No sir, still video is showing.
Okay. Now is it okay?
Yes sir, now it is.
Yeah, yeah. So objective to showcase that video is that when we are talking about this vertical robot, the flexibility of the each arm, the each component, the degree of rotation, how the movement is taking place, left, right, up and down. So just to make you understand, when we are introducing this robot in industry, it can work as a human arm. Okay, how we can use our arm in any manner from any joint point of view. So we can use this robot in same manner. Now I'll show you a small video about this horizontal robot. So this video is visible to you or no?
No, sir.
Okay, 1 minute.
It's 10:19 a.m.
Madam, is it visible? Is it visible now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. Now the look at the speed has been reduced by 1/4. It means 25% of the speed being used. Just to make you aware how the movement of this horizontal robot is taking place. The degree of movement you can see left and right. When coming back to this PPT, is it visible?
Visible, sir.
Yeah, different
yeah.
robots here. Okay, can I take it forward? Hello, yes, ma'am. Can I take it forward?
Yes, sir. Please go
Yes,
ahead,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. So what I was talking about before, the advantages of robot. Okay, a few of the examples are mentioned here, like hazardous environment, repetitive work cycle is there, consistency and accuracy when we're talking about, difficult handling task for humans, multi-shift operations, reprogrammable, flexible, and interface to other computer system. So where we can introduce this robot system. See, these are the some applications. Okay, these are the some application where in automotive how these robots are being used. Okay, this is a dabbling and polishing application. Okay, how this robot is being used. Here you can look at the appearance inspection, okay, of the object the robot is being used, the alignment of the mold goods. Okay, how we are going to place it and make the alignment of the goods. Next is packaging of processed parts. Okay, so used for packaging point of view. Next is sealing of the any object. Okay, so where you need to use robot, and assembly of automobile components. Actually, I would like to present some videos based on this application, the working applications. Okay, where Mitsubishi robot is being used for such kind of application. Another example we can take up from electrical and electronic section. Appearance inspection. Again, this is an example. And screw fastening. Okay, you can take example of soldering of any component, laser marking, sealing again, and mounting of parts on any PCB. Of any goods like a bottle filling or bottle packing. You can look at labeling. You can look at a label check. Another example of loading and unloading of the parts. Example of sorting machine. And loading and unloading processor for a filler, where two robots are working in collaboration. These are some more examples of AGVs like being used in nowadays in industries. So a lot of AGVs are being used, and it has a huge and requirement in industries, because a lot of warehouse concepts are coming into the market where automatic guided vehicles are going to play a vital role. So here, as I said before, I would like to play some videos on this application to make you understand how robot works. Let me finish this PPT first, then at one go I'll play this 3 or 4 videos for your reference. This is the example of oil sealing assembly. Actually, I cannot play the video here, so I need to open another folder. So I'll show you another PPT. This is screw tightening system. This is for the fan, ceiling fan assembly system, how the screws are being installed by using automation. This is the typical structure of automation where robot is being connected to the rest of the component. You can see here the robot with the standalone controller is been connected, and this is the vision system connected to the PLC system, and from this PLC it is connected to HMIs or to eFactory concept. Again, for safety point of view, that robots is being used in some putting some safety walls, okay, some sensors. We can define the working area where the robot or human being can work, and thereafter robot can handle the job. This is the safety area. When we are talking about Mitsubishi robot, as I said, we had 2 categories for FR series robot. It is the latest series of vertical category in Mitsubishi Electric. Okay, and we can handle the robot always been calculated or discussed with couple of parameters. One is load payload is for 20 kg. So up to 20 kg load we can pick using Mitsubishi robot. Second is the arm length, the reach of the robot. So maximum. So you can look at the maximum reach of Mitsubishi robot is 1503 mm. So these are the 2 parameters, important parameters while selecting any robot when you are talking to someone about the robot. So we have a range from 3 kg to 20 kg, and the maximum reach from 504 mm to 1503 mm. This is robot anatomy. Basically, the vertical robot, articulated robot, is a 6-axis robot. You can look at this base, joint 1. Joint 1 means axis 1. This is joint 2, axis 2. This is joint 3, axis 3. Joint 4, joint 5, and joint 6. Okay. This slide shows the movement of individual axis, the direction of the movement. So you can see this axis 1 can work, can move circular. Okay. Axis 2, the direction of the movement you can look at. Axis 3, the direction of movement you can look at by these arrows. Axis 4 is moving like that. Axis 5 and axis 6. This is the basically vertical robot workspace where this robot can work. Okay, in that last video, might you have observed this vertical robot can stretch at full and can move from extreme front to the rear left. Okay, this is the workspace we called where the robot can move. Another example of horizontal robots. Again, in this is the same criteria of robot selection for payload capacity. Okay, in horizontal type we have a capacity till 20 kg. The robot you can select, and the reach again vary from 350 mm to 1000 mm. Again, anatomy of 4-axis horizontal articulated robot. We have in horizontal robot we have 4 axes, like basically joint 1, joint 2, joint 3, and joint 4. These joints represent the axis basically. And this axis means here some servo based motors, servo motors are being used inside for the movement of this axis. Again, the direction, this arrow represent the movement of this direction of this individual axis, and this shows about the horizontal robot workspace, the area you can define for safety point of view. So before we have used or discussed about the robot arm only. When we are talking about robots, robot consists of 3 parts. One is robot arm, what we had discussed earlier. Second is controller, to give a command to the robot arm. Third is teach pendant. Okay, like earlier in PLC system, I discussed about the display HMI. Okay, that controls the PLC data. Same way in robot, we are using teaching box, from where we can control the robot, teach the robot. So this is the example of controllers being used, the different category of robot. Okay, so depending on type of model of selection of robot, we select the controller and options of teaching box. Robot coordinates. When we are talking about robot, before to start, okay, any robot, we need to give a reference area. Reference area means from where robot should imagine, like this is the reference plane for him, and from here it has to walk. Okay, when you are saying like you have to move 10 kilometer, for example, or you need to walk for 1 kilometer, then you need to make a one reference point for yourself, like this is the 0, and from here you are going to start until 1 kilometer you will move. Same way for robot. So we, in our technical language, we call as a origin. Okay, for any robot to start, so he should define the origin, and to define this origin we have different category, different methods. One is joint coordinates, second is world coordinates, third is tool coordinates, fourth is user coordinate. These 4 different coordinates, basically we can have a detailed discussion while learning on this robotic point of view, okay, when we are working on the practical side. But just to enlighten you about these coordinates, different categories. Joint coordinates means robot itself, it has internal joint coordinates, x, y, z plane. Okay, so that is mounted on the body of this robot. So the robot will work by its own domain or by its joint coordinates mentioned on, or the factory default setting has been given for this joint coordinates. Second is world coordinate. So world coordinate is x, y, z. You can define your own x, y, z, okay, coordinates itself. Okay, you just set one coordinate like x. So with respect to that x coordinate, y or z will be calculated automatically. Third is tool coordinate. When I was talking about the axis number 6, where load is connected to the robot. Okay, from that tool, we call it as a tool where the load is connected, we can set the coordinates according to the job or according to the load connected to the robot. Next is user coordinate, which user can define for any direction, any movement, any, is open for the user to use robot in any manner. So these are some terminology about the robot while talking about the reach, the maximum horizontal distance from the center of the robot waist to the end of its wrist. Okay, so this is the important parameter when we are talking about robot, how much is the reach of this robot. Second is maximum speed. I forgot to tell you about maximum speed of the robot in the vertical case, that is more than over 10,000 mm per second. Okay, but again, when it is at full with synchronization of all the axes, okay, that is a theoretical value basically. Let's read out here what is the maximum speed. A robot moving at full extension with all the joints moving simultaneously in complementary directions at full speed. The maximum speed is the theoretical value which does not consider under loading condition. Another is payload. Again, the maximum load we can connect. Okay, the maximum payload is the amount of weight carried by the robot manipulator at reduced speed while maintaining the rated precision. These ratings are highly dependent on the size, shape of the payload due to variation in the inertia. Yeah, in short, I would say the how much the load the robot can carry. Then accuracy and repeatability. These are some of the terminology being used while talking about the robot. And few are like resolutions, the smallest increment of motion or distance that can be detected or controlled by robotic control arm. It is a function of encoder pulses per revolution. When I was talking about J5 servo system, when I said it is a 2⁻26 resolution is there. Okay, that depends, that shows how much resolution we can get from this encoder. Okay, how much the smallest area or the smallest distance we can detect. Okay, because as I said, in this robot we are using servo motors, and these servo motors may be of J4 category or J5 category, depending on the type of motors being used. Each motor have their encoders, and encoder has some resolutions depending on their capacity. J4 category is different, J5 category is different resolution. So degree of freedom, like as I told you in previous slides, for vertical robot there is 6 axis degree of freedom, and in SCARA we have a 4 axis degree of freedoms. Okay, and vertical robots we can have a movement from left to right is 270 degree left and right. Okay, plus minus, and in horizontal it is plus minus 170 degree. So envelope is a 3-dimensional space that defines the boundaries that the robot manipulator can reach, also known as reach envelope. It means the complete area where the robot can move with at full speed and full arm length. It can reach from corner of one axis to other side. So in my previous slide I have shown you the work envelope the robot is being used. A very small information about vision cameras. We can connect, we have a facility to connect the vision system to our robotics. Okay, we can connect 2D category or 3D vision systems. Okay, these are the images you can look at here. In 2D, a flat image of this object can get it, and in 3D we can get 3D effect in 3D system. So these are the features of a camera vision system, but we have a facility to read out the coordinates from the camera. We have a dedicated protocol for our supporting partners. Otherwise, we can connect third parties vision systems on Ethernet IP or different protocols. These are some examples of the cameras being used, 2D dimensional or 3D dimensionals. So I'll show you some of the videos. I'll play around to showcase how this vision system is been working for inspection of any object. This is about our robot design software. So we call it a RT Toolbox 3. Okay, where you can design your workspace, the coordinates you can design, and you can have a simulation mode of this robotic solutions. So that's all about this robotic. So I'll play some video for you. This is another just to showcase you how this workspace is working, how we can define the coordinates, and how we can enlarge this box size while we are working in the software side. So that's all about robotic. This is a small information about the robot of Mitsubishi robots. So sometimes we can get the time to we can have a practical hands-on at Manav Rachna College. Okay, And now allow me to share you some videos about this application, different category, how the robot is being used in real environment. 1 minute, please. So is this slide is visible? Mitsubishi Electric robot videos.
Sir, actually the PPT is visible.
Yeah, PPT. I have shown you PPT only.
Yes.
But in this PPT, which PPT you can look at? Mitsubishi Electric robot videos?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. See, this is the real application. This is the real application for loading and unloading area. Okay. Just look at how this robot is being used in the critical area where human cannot be work. That is why we introduced the robot. And why we introduce vertical robot instead of horizontal. Just look at the application, the movement of the object and the robot is required. That's why we have selected for a vertical robot. And this is another example of marking application. Just look at. Is these videos are visible to all of you? Hello. Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
So can you see these videos?
Yes, sir. Videos are visible, sir.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you.
ए तू याच्याकडे लक्ष दे जरा ते नंतर फोनवर बोल.
See, this video shows about the marking of some area. Okay, you just define this marking space in the program side, and every time robot will make the same marking on the same object. So you can repeat number of object marking space, you will find the same manner. I'll show you another examples. This is machine tending. Okay. basically in this machine tending application, you can look at this robot is working with two different machines. Okay, so it's taking the object from one machine and working with another machines. So here just imagine, because due to safety reason, if human being has to work over here in this environment, and there are high chances, or it can take place in some accident to the human being. To keep the safety point of view, so robot has been introduced in such kind of application. So this is the example of screw assembly. In my slide, I have shown you this image, and this is the ceiling fan assembly, how it is been taking place. Please look at. So automatically pick up the screw and assemble into the fan. This is bearing parameter checking. Okay, for inspection point of view, how the robot is being used. I'll show you one more example of high-speed pick and place application. In fact, you can look at in this video that conveyor, but middle conveyor that having the object. So that objects are not in symmetry actually. You can see, but still the robots are picking this component and putting on different conveyors in a systematic manner, what is predefined manner. So this is the beauty of a robot to use. And if we are going to deal with human beings, the so fast response is difficult to receive from a manual system. Just I would like to continue to play this. If you must have been observed that a robot is not just working in what is not working in that manner what we have programmed it. In fact, it is sensing. Accordingly, it's taking its decision. When you have observed this movement or this picking of this object from the conveyor, so there's not even symmetry of the components. Sometimes robot has to work fast, and sometimes robot has to work a bit slow to pick one component or pick two components. Okay, so that observation is required to monitor such kind of videos, what robot is playing and how robot is working. I'll show you some more slides, more video on sealant dispensing.
you can look at the sealant being placed at the corner of this object. This is the part of engine assembly basically. Okay, so you require to put some sealant. This is the oil sealing assembly. This video shows about the assembly of two different component, okay, and putting on a one space. See, this is how the robot is being used in industry for different type of application. I show you one more. So that's all about these videos and all the thing. Now we have a setup of this robotic available in Maharachna College. If somebody want to learn on robotic part, so you may contact to the department head and Dr. Anita Khosla madam. Okay, and of course, being a educational partner for Maharachna College, Mitsubishi Electric is always available to support you guys to work at Maharachna, to learn at Maharachna. So that's all from my side about today's topic for automation and robotics. Yeah, over to you, madam.
Okay. Thank you, Manoj sir, for your helping hand and this session giving the detailed knowledge, not only of the robotics, but also automation and the recent industrial applications. Okay, and all of the participants, they are requested to fill the feedback form. The link is shared in the chat box, and the next session will be starting at 11:30. Okay, thank you all.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you to all of you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, sir, can I out from the
Yes, sir.
session?
Yes, yes, sir, sure, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. So
Thank you,
nice.
sir. मैम यहाँ पे एक मिनट आओ तो सही काम है आप आओ तो नहीं नहीं और भी